Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be going through some event marketing tactics. Now, this video is going to be pretty free form. I'm just going to kind of go through all of the marketing tactics that we use to sell our events. And of course, as a disclaimer, these marketing strategies have worked for us in our events, but I cannot promise that they're going to work for you. But hopefully you can implement one of these strategies into your event marketing and start getting more people attending your events. All right, let's dive into it. So the first strategy that I want to talk about is paid advertising. Now, in the simplest terms possible, paid advertising is when you give a social media platform or wherever you're advertising on some money, and in exchange for that money, they will put your ads and your business on a bunch of people's news feeds, websites, whatever it is. The most common place this happens is on Facebook and Google. I'm sure you've been scrolling through Facebook and you see a couple ads pop up. Some of them are videos, some of them are pictures. That's basically what I'm talking about here. And a large chunk of our ticket sales, but also just our revenue in general at our business has come from paid advertising. Now, like I said, this typically comes in the form of pictures or videos, but you can also do some search campaigns on Google, for example, or other types of text advertising. I enjoy paid advertising because, in my opinion, it just speeds up the process. A great example of this is when I launched this business. In the beginning, when I started my events newsletter, I wanted to get people onto the newsletter so that I wasn't just sending emails out to myself, my mom, and a few of my friends. And I was posting a lot of content on social media. I was posting shorts, I was posting reels, I was just posting pictures. And yeah, I was getting a couple leads here and there, but it just really wasn't moving that fast. So I decided that I was going to commit a certain amount of money to spend on paid advertising to get my newsletter in front of more eyes, because I knew that I had value to give. I knew that I had some tips and some tricks and just some insights to share with other people in the events industry that could help enhance the experience of their events. And I just wanted to speed up that process. So I decided to do paid advertising. And within about a month and a half, I had over 1,000 people on my newsletter. And that's very validating to me because it showed me that people were actually genuinely interested in what I had to say. And it also gave me something to play with, because for weeks there, I was just sending out newsletters to, 5 to 10 people. And it was actually kind of demoralizing after a little bit. But once I had a couple hundred and then 500 and then 700 and then over 1,000, every time I was about to send out a newsletter, I would get extremely excited. And it was a ton of fun. And I think I would have gotten there eventually, but using paid advertising definitely sped up the process. Now, the second strategy that I want to talk about is organic social media marketing. And this is kind of what I was just talking about, but basically this is just posting content online to social media platforms. This strategy definitely is a slow burn, and it takes a while to build up a social media presence and to actually build an audience of people that will buy or consume your content or attend your events. But I was actually just talking to one of my good friends who is heavy into the social media game, and he said it's a slow burn, but once you get the ball rolling, it's actually extremely lucrative. And I couldn't agree more with that. It's also important to remember that organic social media marketing can come in a bunch of different ways. Yes, you can post on Instagram and Facebook, which is typically more short form content. You're talking 30 to 90 second reels or just pictures, but you can also post more long form content on YouTube. And as social media is constantly changing, you can start to post your content in different forms on different platforms. For example, on TikTok now, you can actually post long form content, when TikTok used to just be a very short form focused platform. So things are always changing. But a great way to market your business and to market your events is to just start posting content on social media and to start building a following. And once you get the ball rolling, you can actually start to monetize that audience. I'd say probably 3 to 7% of our ticket sales come from organic social media marketing. And yes, that's not an earth-shattering number, but it's definitely a significant amount when we're throwing events for 2,000 to 3,000 people. So if you're looking for creative ways to market your event or your event's business, I'd highly recommend building up a social media presence and starting to post content and building a following. Up next is email marketing. Now, this is actually similar to organic social media marketing when it's kind of a slow burn. But once you have that traffic and they are inside of your email list, that's now traffic that you own, and you can send whatever you want to them. Of course, it's very important to maintain a healthy relationship with your email list. You definitely need to give way more than you ask. Some people say a good give to ask ratio is 3 to 1, but I'd even recommend, especially if you're starting out, that your give to ask ratio should be 10 or 15 to 1, which means you need to provide value 15 times before you just have one ask. However, at Fun Launch, we have been building up our email list for the last 4.5 years, and right now it's over 200,000 people. And yes, we had to spend money to acquire those people to come onto our list, but now we own that traffic. And whenever we have a new product to launch, and especially when we have an event to sell, we could probably just sell out all of our events by just running campaigns to our email list. But of course, we want more people coming into our ecosystem, and we want to give other people a chance to come and attend the event as well. But a majority of our ticket sales do come from our email list. So if you're looking for another way to market your events business or the events that you're planning, I definitely consider building out an email list and running strategic marketing campaigns to that list. And I'm going to say it again because I think it's extremely important, but please maintain the relationship of this list and make sure you're giving a ton of value before you ask, because nobody wants to be a part of an email list where they're just hit with sales emails and offers every single day. That trust and that relationship is actually extremely important. If you want to start email marketing for your events, a few different softwares you can use are ActiveCampaign, Kajabi, ClickFunnels, or MailChimp. Now I know there are a ton of other softwares out there, but those are the 4 that I'm familiar with. And they've actually done a pretty good job for me. But do your own research, go check those out, see if you like them. Of course, different softwares will cater to different needs. Like Kajabi and ClickFunnels, yes, you can send emails, but ClickFunnels' main focus is funnel building, and Kajabi is more of a course hosting platform that also just happen to send emails. However, MailChimp is definitely more email focused, and so is ActiveCampaign. So whatever you need, make sure you just do your research and make sure you're investing into the software that works best for you. The next marketing strategy that I want to talk about is testimonials and case studies. On most of our event websites, we will have testimonials and case studies from previous attendees talking about their experience at the event. And this is one of the best ways to increase conversions on people that are maybe thinking about attending your event, because they can actually see that real people are attending your event and they are enjoying it. We live in a time where people are very skeptical of new opportunities and new businesses. And if they just see a page that's an event, but there's really no proof that anyone's attended that event, and there's no proof that anyone has even liked that event, it kind of triggers these internal alarms within us. However, if you're going and you're thinking about going to an event and you see on their website that they have 20 to 30 different testimonials of attendees that had an amazing experience at previous events, it provides that social proof, it legitimizes your company, and psychologically it makes the customer trust your business way more. So as you're planning these events, I would highly recommend capturing testimonials and case studies at the event so that you can use them for marketing materials in the future. All right, up next is hype videos. And when I say hype video, I mean a 1 to 2 minute. This is basically a recap of an event that you just planned. Now, this works really well when you're throwing multiple events for one company, or if you're throwing multiple iterations for a certain event. For example, we have our Fund Launch Live series, which is our big conference that we throw every year. And every year, one of the main ways we market the upcoming event is to show the recap hype video from the previous event. I'm actually going to come over here on my computer and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so over here on my computer, I'm actually on the Fund Launch Live website right now. But this video is promoting our event coming up in Orlando, but it's basically just a recap of the event that took place last year in Miami. So I'm going to play this and then we can talk about it after.
You were tough. You weren't the smartest. You weren't the best. But man, you couldn't stay down. You kept getting up.
I went from 30 companies to over 80 companies. We exited that fund at $1.27 billion.
Don't try to predict the future. Try to run probabilities.
The path has been laid before you, and now the decision is on you.
You gotta start thinking bigger. You get a little momentum in your life when you start competing, and all of a sudden, momentum makes average, ordinary people superhuman.
Man, every time I watch that, I just get chills. See, now after watching that, doesn't that make you want to attend the event? Now, maybe not. Maybe you're not interested in funds or finance at all. But if you were interested in this niche and you were thinking of attending an event, and you come to the website and you see this recap hype video of the previous event, and you can see that it's real, and you can see that there's been speakers like Ed Mylett and Jim Rogers and Jeremy Miner, all these very high status individuals. Similar to the testimonials and case studies, it just builds this trust and this relationship between you and the customer. And what we'll do is we'll actually just run these videos as ads, and they typically perform really well. And this doesn't just have to be for specific events. If you have an events business, a good way to market your events business is to create recap videos of your events and run those as ads, or send those to potential clients, or just have them on your website so that people can see your work. One thing I see a lot in the events industry is I'll go to a certain events business website and they don't have any videos or pictures of the events that they've thrown. And if I'm somebody who's looking to work with a company to help throw my events, I want to see what they've done. I want to see their portfolio. And this is a major reason why we have invested so much money into having a good videography and photography team at all of our events. The assets that you get from those events are extremely valuable. So another creative way to market your events business or your events is to leverage hype recap videos. The next strategy that I want to talk about is influencer marketing. Now this one's pretty easy to understand, but influencer marketing is basically when you go and you pay an influencer to post about your event or your business on their social media platform. And there's a few different angles you can work here. You can do story posts, you can do video posts, or you can do feed posts, and you can even negotiate link in bio. Sometimes I'll only post it for an hour, sometimes I'll post it for 24 hours. There's a lot of different levers you can pull, but influencer marketing is definitely a very popular way that events will use to sell tickets. Now, an example of this, which might be a little controversial, is the Fire Festival. Now, I think every event planner should watch the documentary on the Fire Festival because it's like the absolute nightmare of any event planner. But if you haven't seen it, essentially this young dude tried to throw this amazing festival in the Bahamas and it just completely fell through and nothing worked. But one strategy he used to sell tickets and make his event go viral was influencer marketing. He went and he paid these very high status individuals a lot of money to post this orange square on their social media platforms. And I believe it just said like fire on it or something like that. And the catch was they all had to post it at the exact same time. So all these models and all these actors and all these very famous people all posted this orange square at the same time on their social media platforms. And people were like, what is this? What's fire? What's the Fire Festival? What's this orange square? And it got so many eyeballs on the festival and they sold hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars in ticket sales just from that one campaign. Now that's a very extreme example of influencer marketing. Of course, you can do it in a more tame way. But if you're throwing an event in a certain niche, you can go and you can find influencers in that niche and pay them to post about your event to help sell tickets. However, I will warn you to be a little careful here. These days, a lot of these influencers have a lot of fake or bot followers. And you'll see somebody that has 1 million, 2 million, maybe even 10 million followers. Then you'll go and you'll check their likes and they get a couple hundred likes, which is a terrible ratio. And then you can go read the comments and you can see a bunch of spam comments. There is a lot of inauthentic accounts out there, and you'd be basically throwing your money in a paper shredder if you pay one of them to post about your event. So if you're going to be doing influencer marketing, make sure you do some research on the influencer, read through their comments, see how past posts have performed, and see if it's a good investment for you. All right, got a few more here. We're on the home stretch. But the next strategy I want to talk about is a sales team. One way we sell tickets to our events is we use our sales team. Now, our sales team is already selling different products on the phones. So a ticket to an event is usually a downsell from one of our high ticket products. But we actually sell a couple hundred tickets a year to our big conference Fun Launch Live through our sales team. And it's great because when somebody is talking on the phone with a sales rep, they get to ask all the questions they want, and the sales rep is actually trained to break down their false beliefs and close them to come to the event. So if somebody were to go and try and buy a ticket on your website and they have all these questions and they're like, I don't know if I want to do this, a sales rep is actually trained to work them through those false beliefs and those objections and help them get to the end point, which is buying a ticket to the event. Of course, there are definitely some overhead costs that come with a sales team. You have to pay the sales team commission and sometimes you even have to pay them a base. But for us, it's been very worth it to have a sales team because they generate a ton of revenue for the other products that we sell, but they also sell a ton of tickets to our events. And I've actually never done this, but I've heard of other events that actually do outbound sales. That's where you hire a sales team to cold call people or call warm leads and try to sell them tickets without them calling into you. Like I said, I've never done outbound selling for tickets for any event, so I can't really speak on if it works well or if it doesn't. But I've definitely heard of some events that have done it and they've actually sold out their event. So there's probably something to it. The next strategy that I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. An affiliate program is having people that have already purchased tickets to your event sell more tickets for you. And you'll typically do this in the form of a challenge where the person who refers the most people to buy tickets to the event gets a prize. Or you can have checkpoints where if somebody refers 5 friends, they get a t-shirt. And if they refer 15 friends, they get AirPods. And if they refer 30 friends, then they get a PlayStation 5 or whatever it is. You can kind of tier it like that. Whichever way you decide to structure it, you want to make sure that you're giving a good enough incentive to the people that will be your affiliates because they're actually going to be taking time out of their day to try and go and sell tickets for you. So you want to make sure it's mutually beneficial. Now, we've tested out affiliate programs for our events and they've done okay. They've sold maybe a couple hundred tickets max, but I don't think that we've done it right. I think we could put a lot more effort and be way more intentional with the affiliate program and it would do a lot better. But there's other avenues that have just worked really well for us for marketing, so we typically invest into those. But if you think an affiliate program would work for you, then I would definitely consider trying it out because I know there's a lot of events out there and definitely a lot of companies that thrive off of affiliate programs. Up next is virtual events. Now, this is a pretty fun strategy, but you can actually leverage virtual events to sell your in-person events. Something we've been doing recently is a 3-day challenge. We call it the 3-day Launch Your Fund Challenge. And it's a free virtual event and people can come on, and over the course of 3 days, we will teach them and walk them through the steps of launching a fund. And what it is basically a very high level version of our big conference that we throw every year, which is Fund Launch Live. And what this does is it shows these people what our company is about, and it shows the tremendous value that we provide at our events. And by the time they're done with the 3-day challenge, they're like, wow, if I can get this amount of value from this virtual event, I wonder what kind of value I can get if I go and I join them in person at their conference, Fund Launch Live. And we've actually sold a ton of tickets from these challenges. And the best part is the tickets aren't even the main focus of this challenge. The main focus is to provide value to the attendee, and we'll also sell one of our other products during the challenge. And the tickets are kind of just cherries on top. People just get super excited about the events that we throw, and they want to see whichever other ones we throw. And those people that are attending our challenges are usually the ones that are also buying tickets to our events. Something else we've done in the past that worked really well is we held a virtual event where we actually brought on all of the speakers that were going to be speaking at Fund Launch Live, and we gave them about a 20 to 25 minute segment for them to teach and kind of give a high level overview of what they're going to talk about at Fund Launch Live. And then we gave the speaker an affiliate link. At the very end, they would say, hey, grab tickets right now to Fund Launch Live. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you there. We can shake hands. We can take a picture. And that person's audience would be on the virtual event to watch them because they would post it on their social medias. And a handful of people would buy from each speaker. And we had about 10 to 15 speakers on this virtual event. So we sold a couple hundred tickets. And it was actually pretty easy to put together. And it was a win-win for everybody because the speaker got an affiliate link and they actually got a little bit of kickback for selling tickets. There's a lot of really cool ways you can leverage virtual events to sell tickets to your in-person events. So if you're not doing that yet, I'd highly recommend trying it out and see if it works for your business. Alrighty, the last marketing strategy that I want to talk about in this video is at event and post-event marketing. So something that we will do, and I've actually seen this done at other events as well, is we will sell tickets to the next event at the event that's currently happening. And the reason we do this is because the people that are at the event that's currently happening are in the perfect buying atmosphere and the perfect buying mentality. They're fully immersed in your company, in your brand, in your culture. They're talking to people, they're talking to other attendees that are also inside of this culture, and they feel like they're a part of something. And they're kind of riding this high on the back end of your event. So there really is no better time to offer them a chance to come to the next event than right there when they're riding this high. So right before the event finishes up, we'll typically hand out order forms and give people a chance to buy tickets at an early bird price, which is super discounted, to the next event. And then we'll also do an early bird campaign a few weeks after the event while people are still riding that high from the event that just happened. And we'll typically sell about 15, maybe even 20% of our tickets to the next event during this at event and post event campaign. So if you're throwing an event and you know there's going to be more events in the future, consider giving attendees a chance to buy tickets to that next event while they are fully wrapped up and immersed into your atmosphere and your event. Okay, those are all of the marketing strategies that I want to talk about in today's video. Now, of course, I could go very in depth on all of these, and I'll probably make more videos in the future. But if you have any questions or if you have any specific strategies that you want me to go deeper on, please drop a comment down below and I can make a video on it. I want to help you as much as possible, and if you think making more videos on marketing strategies would be beneficial, then I can make them myself, or I can find one of my partners in my network that helps me market my events, and I can bring them on and we can do a little masterclass on marketing. Now, I know this is an events course and an events community, but if you want to hear more marketing strategies and more marketing classes, please drop a comment down below or send me an email and I can get something cooking for you guys. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.